You're listening to The Mojo with Steph Renee. Weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. exclusively on 900 AM WURD.
Yes, and our guest is now on the line. So, another busy day in the cinema for those of us who are cinephiles.
Yeah, you gotta get your tickets.
Exactly. You have your meetup tomorrow for Miles Ahead, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the program. But one of the other films that we have both had the pleasure of seeing in advance of its nationwide release is Barbershop: The Next Cut, installment 3 of the franchise, and its director, Malcolm Lee, now joins us on the line. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, and glad to speak to you after having a chance to sit down, and Mike and I both did, with Ice Cube and Dion Cole when they came to Philadelphia to screen the film, and we talked a lot about the role that Philadelphia audiences are playing in giving some honest feedback of the film. I can say that during the screening that I went to, it was overwhelmingly positive.
Well, that's great. We like hearing that.
Yeah, I mean, I laughed. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. It's out today. Everybody go see it in theaters. Don't go to the barbershop to pick up Barbershop Next Cut.
Bootleg. Don't be going to the video dude that be like, trying to give you like for $5. Give my work away for $5.
That's right.
All our work for $5 to $7. No, that ain't the way we gonna do things. We shouldn't do it like that. To go to the theater. And I don't care if you bring your own food into the theater. I don't care about that. Come. I understand how expensive it is, but you ain't got to buy, mounds of nachos and the giant popcorn. You
right.
Go ahead and enjoy this movie because it's worth your time, and you'll laugh and.
Yeah, and don't take your cameras in there and film off the screen.
No cameras.
You're putting it up on Twitter.
That's right. None of that stuff. But one of the things that I think is wonderful is that, in this day and time when we talk about modern cinema and stories about Black folks on the big screen, is that, sometimes the heart is missing. And we can't say that about the Barbershop franchise or the Best Man franchise that you're responsible for either, that you give us these moments where we laugh or we cry or we gasp. We feel something in seeing the films that you were at the helm of. So what was it like for you to do part 3 of this Barbershop franchise?
It was a pleasure. I got an opportunity to put my stamp on the Barbershop franchise. I was asked years ago to do the first one, but I was unable to I was unavailable to do the movie. So I relished the opportunity to work again with State Street Pictures, Bob Tyler and George Tillman, and to get an opportunity to work with Ice Cube. And Cedric that was the second time I worked with Cedric.
Yeah.
So it was I really loved the Barbershop franchise, and I'm glad that I was able to work on it. And plus, we were very blessed with a great script from Kenya Barris, who's the creator of Blackish.
Yes.
And his co-writer Tracy Oliver writes for Survivor's Remorse and the Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl. And so, they wrote a great script that, had lots of funny new additions to the film, as well as, some socially relevant messages to display as well. So, people were concerned about, okay, well, we gotta make sure we're clear about the tone and don't have we don't throw anything off balance by adding certain things. And I kind of pride myself on being able to balance tone, and that's very important for me, because the way the kind of movies I like to make, they are a reflection of life. They are, a slice of life, and I feel like tone is very important, because not everything is funny, not everything is sad, not everything is dramatic. I think it's a mixture of all those emotions, and I like the opportunity for African Americans to enjoy themselves in the movie theater, and not just just laugh or not just cry, like just run the full gamut of emotions if we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just want to. We're talking to Malcolm D. Lee, and for those who don't know, because you're not as upfront as your cousin when these movies come out, but you're responsible for The Best Man, Undercover Brother, Roll Bounce, Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, Soul Men. I'm gonna leave out Scary Movie 5. We're gonna leave that one off.
Thank you.
Best Man Holiday, Barbershop, The Next Cut, and coming up, Best Man Wedding. I
Yes.
mean, now we all often go into this thing like, are you a black filmmaker? You're a filmmaker. filmmaker who happens to be black. I mean, I can honestly say Malcolm D. Lee is a black filmmaker, and this Barbershop Next Cut is blackety black.
It is black.
Like, I mean,
it's good and black.
It's got Aunt V in it. And I'm like, people are like, hey, that's it. You know, like
Auntie
Fee. I'm sorry. Thank you. I mean, how you know was social relevant consciousness
and the wonderful thing that carries over in the films that you have just run down is the idea of black men showing affection to one another. They can be in conflict, but there is always genuine friendship and love in the relationships in the films that you direct, and I so enjoy that.
You know, I mean, it's a reflection of my own reality. You know, I got a lot of brothers in my life that are like that. You know, that elevate me and uplift me, and you know, we do the same for one another. And it's, you know, it's completely heterosexual, and you know, and there's nothing wrong with, like, you know, bonding with your brothers. You know, like, I get a lot of joy and a lot of you know, ideas and you know, thought provoking conversation from cats that I you know, hang around, that I went to college with, that I grew up with. So, you know, you know, why not display that on screen? Because we have so much negativity that's displayed on screen as far as black people are concerned, especially black men. And you know, it's not my duty to show quote unquote positive images. It's my duty as a filmmaker to show dimensional images.
Yes.
I feel like, you know, that there's not enough dimension in our portrayals, and with Barbershop, you know, you have a wide variety of personalities that inhabit that space, you know, and I think that's true to life. I mean, whether you're a businessman, athlete, politician, a petty thief, or a big-time criminal, you're going to go into the barbershop to get your hair cut, and the barbers know everyone that comes through there. You know, no one's a stranger in there. You know, it's like Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
when
you know, where everyone knows your name. You know what I mean? So it's I think that you know, again, we have an opportunity to show a lot of different slices of African American life in the barbershop, because it's very real in what occurs.
Yeah, and it's been 11 years since the last one, but it's almost seems like no time has passed.
Yeah.
When you watch.
Well, you know, a lot of my actors have very good genes.
Yeah, clearly.
What's the saying? Good black don't crack. That is the epitome of it right there. I mean, they all look great. You know, it's just same as the actors on Best Man Holiday. Same thing. You know. Yeah. They've all not only aged well, but they've also matured as performers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone's gotten better as they get older.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm very lucky that I came along and did this particular version. You know, because everybody's a little bit more seasoned, a little bit more, you know, settled into their roles. At least the ones who have been there before, and then the new ones, you know, fit in their roles very, very well. You know, I was glad to work with everybody. It was, you know, not easy, you know, having that many people.
I was going to say, a lot of celebrity egos in one production.
Oh, well, that was not an issue. Ego, everyone checked their egos at the door.
Nice.
You know, nobody was you know, had an ego problem on this picture. You know, they were there for each other. You know, they were off screen, giving, you know, feeding lines and whatnot. You know, and like a real family, like a real committed group of people. And honestly, you know, what you saw on set was very real. The chemistry that's there on set was very real, because it was the same happening off set. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, like, you know, on the other side of the wall where you know, we were off set, the actors were just chilling right there, like, you know, in a group, cutting up, laughing, you know, talking, building, whatever you want to call it. And rarely did anybody go back to their trailer.
No, I mean, the chemistry is definitely apparent. A comment I've never seen better.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj, really great comedic talent. Timing is on point. But what I want to ask, like, you've worked pretty much, you know, your whole career through the studio system, and you've worked these things in. Now this one, you're dealing with the Chirac issue. Was there any pushback from the powers that be to say tone this down, make it more funny, or?
No, I mean, listen, my whole goal in taking this movie on, well, first of all, Ice Cube said he wasn't coming back for Barbershop unless they were going to deal with what was really happening in Chicago. So start there, you know, before I even got involved. And when I read the script, I thought it had a good, you know, it certainly, you know, addressed that. And all these new characters made it, you know, an opportunity for us to make one of the funniest barbershop movies there was. So, like, that was my number one goal, make the movie funny. And so in doing that, I cast really funny people: Deion Cole, Regina Hall, J.B. Smoove, Lamorne Morris, Utkar and Bootkar, you know, really, really great funny people who would be able to improvise and, you know, push the one lone comedian of the Barbershop franchise, and that was Cedric, who is still the king. You know? He's still the king. And so when it came time to the you know, the violence that takes place outside of the shop, and sometimes would invade the shop itself, like I wanted to push it even more. Like, you know, there's you've seen the film, and, you know, some of the end of second act tragedy that happens, you know, was a kind of a nameless, faceless person. So I didn't want that to happen. I wanted it to be, you know, in the original draft, I wanted it to be somebody that, you know, that they knew in the shop, and so that it would be impactful. I wanted to make sure that we were dealing with all of those you know, the environment in which the Chicago residents of the South Side find themselves. You know, it is, you know, I hate to use the word war zone, but it kind of is. I mean, when people die, you know, like hundreds of people can die, you know, in a month, or sometimes it gets shot in a weekend. Right. That's a war zone. Yeah. That is a criminal epidemic that, you know, it's just that should not be in a great American city.
Right. Yeah. And I also appreciated the idea that the secondary plot motivation was fatherhood. And, you know, for the jokes that were made about it, the whole idea of, and I spoke about this with Ice Cube while he was in town, the fact that he got a chance to show that lineage with his son's success in Straight Outta Compton this year, and then be able to go back to this familiar place for him on screen and explore the trials of fatherhood in that aspect, I think is going to resonate with a lot of people who are going to see this film.
Yeah, you know, my one of the things that you know, that when I read the script was that, hey, this is a father-son story, and that's going to be the emotional spine of the movie. That's the backbone of this picture. And, you know, it reminded me when I read it, you know, a little bit of Boys in the Hood, and thought very ironic that now, you know, Ice Cube, that making his debut in that movie, is now playing the Furious Styles role.
Right.
That Fishburne played. You know, when you talk about that, you know, comparison. So it was kind of, you know, ironic, but also very great, you know, that was his first movie, and this, you know, he's been like 20, 30 years in the movie industry right now. So I remember talking to him about, I was like, you know, how have you seen it in a while? Like, how have you changed as a man, as a person, as an actor till now? You know, and clearly you see his evolution is tremendous. And I really loved working with Ice Cube. I mean, you know, this is my first time working with him, and, you know, I just find him to be, you know, not only a very, very unique everyman. Not everybody can do what he does, like, and make it be authentic. Yeah. So that's number one. And then, you know, he's also the producer of the movie and the star, but he's always about what's going to make the movie better. Not so much about, oh, how is Calvin going to be portrayed here? He wants the movie to be good, and he wants it to be great, honestly. And so that was always, whenever you'd ask a question or, like, you know, suggest something, it was always about, okay, how do we make the movie better? And I love that. And he was a great partner and great leader for all of us.
No, it's a great movie. It's a great franchise, and it's put so many people on. Like, you know, like I was looking at the old Barbershop movies. Keke Palmer's first movie was a Barbershop movie. Deion Cole, he's been in all three.
Yeah,
you know? Right. And always employed lots of black, not only in front of the camera, but behind the scenes. I see he worked with the Ina Mayhew, and you know, so I just can't say enough. We got to support these, and I'd love to see another one. It's just fun to see those guys. So, well,
you know, if the fans come out this weekend, you know, strong, you'll demonstrate to them that you'll want to see, you know, more barbershop movies, more movies that star and are for and about African American life. So I'm hoping that the people come out and let's talk about this one first before we can start talking about sequels. And we're
Well, no, I always say that, but I mean, what's great about this film is that it speaks to the audience. There's so many movies that have black actors in them that are genericized, where it's sort of like I'm watching my favorite actors, but I don't know, I can't connect to these characters. I have no relationship. But the Barbershop is something that we all know and love. So
it's true. I mean, and then there's so many different kinds of performers in the Barbershop. I mean, you've got rappers, you've got classically trained actors, you've got comedians. So it's a great mixed bag of folks that I think is, again, emblematic of what a true barbershop is like, because you get all kinds of people in there.
And same thing with the audience, because I was sitting next to somebody I know very well on my left and somebody I didn't know at all on my right. And as we laughed and cried and gasped and did all the things that we did in the film, we were together. It's like, the guy on my right, kind of hit me on the shoulder one time when we had a really good laugh off of one scene. And so the whole idea of building bridges between the characters that we see on the film, it extends to the audience that comes out to see the film as well. And that's how you know that it's successful and that you really, really hit the mark in terms of what you were trying to achieve. So much continued success to you, sir.
Thank you very much. No, I appreciate it. It was a good journey for this movie, and I'm glad that we were able to do it.
Fantastic. So later this year, Best Man Wedding?
Well, we hope. I mean, I don't know if it'll happen this year. It's really about timing. What's happened is many of the actors that are in the Best Man franchise are working in television.
That's true. Yeah, Rosewood just got renewed.
We've got Terrence on Empire. Morris is doing Rosewood. Tay is doing Murder in the First on TNT. Sanaa's doing a show for Fox. Regina's about to do a show for Hulu. Melissa's doing Single Ladies. It's
you're a victim of your own success, Malcolm.
I suppose, but I'm very happy for them. They deserve to work. They deserve to have their, have their talent displayed in other ways. And so, the script is done. The desire is there on my part, the studio's part, the actor's part. It's just a matter of, how can we, schedule it and that it makes sense for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, giving us these wonderful portraits of our lives on screen. And I know that there are plenty of people in the listening audience that are already big fans. We want you to continue getting your hands on these great scripts and these great stories and using your mastery to orchestrate it in a way where it's really, really impactful. And we certainly thank you for joining us on this day where you're going to be out, I'm sure, doing a lot of this, making sure that you have great first weekend numbers, but that you took some time to join us here on WURD today.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Malcolm D. Lee.
Malcolm D. Lee.
Don't go to the barbershop to see.
Directors, go in the theater.
don't be and the BitTorrent. We know some of y'all are tech savvy. Stay off Pirate Bay today. Go spend your money. It's worth it.
Indeed, it really is. I was gonna say we give it 4 hearty thumbs up here in the studio.
I got
Yes, you got 2. I got 2.
2 apiece. Yeah.
And you can definitely see. I know that our my interview with Ice Cube and Dion Cole is linked on the front page of the WURD website and on our YouTube channel. And yours is up now as well.
It's doing really well. It's on our Reelblack TV on YouTube. It's one of the most recent cuts, and also this week we're giving away a signed copy of the original Barbershop, signed on DVD, signed by Ice Cube and the film's director Tim Story. So I don't know where else you're going to find that, but if you go to reelblack.com, there's information on how you can enter to win that. So
excellent.
You've been listening to The Mojo with Steph Renee, weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. exclusively on 900 AM WURD.